I just spent 10 days meditating in absolute silence for 10 hours a day. No electronics, no phones, no talking or looking at anybody, no making any gestures, no books, no writing. You only get 2 meals a day and you get very little sleep.
Vipassana, one of India's most ancient meditation techniques.
I first want to share a little bit about what Vipassana is. This is a meditation technique that was developed by the Buddha. Yes, the literal Buddha. The goal of this technique is to achieve purity of mind. This means letting go of your cravings, aversions, and ignorance. It's non-secular, which means that a person from any religion can practice this technique. A large part of this process is making the subconscious conscious, and it's also about learning that everything is impermanent. And this is something that I learn a lot about, and I'll share with more throughout the video. Throughout the 10 days, you learn to be more observant of the sensations you feel all throughout your body, and you can get so sensitive that you feel your whole body vibrating. You're also developing extreme concentration and deeper awareness of the subtle vibrations on your body. And it kind of primes your brain to also notice subtleties in your everyday life. It also allowed me to introspect more about my life and realize more things about it. So that was my little introduction about the method. I'd say that it's very incomplete and I don't want to cause any confusion. So if you're truly interested, they recommend that you take a 10-day course and you can learn all about it for yourself and understand it on a deeper level in its truest and purest form. This is one of the hardest things I've ever done, but it's also one of the most rewarding and life-changing experiences of my life. I learned 3 core lessons, which I'll share with you. I'll tell you a little bit about my experience and if I think it's worth it to try. So coming into this experience, I was so excited. I already meditated before this. I had like a couple years of meditation practice on and off. And leading up to the retreat, I was actually meditating in the morning and at night. Basically, I already had that like foundation and background, which didn't make the 10-hour sittings as excruciating. It was still difficult, but I really was excited to learn and I was excited to be there. I just remember feeling so blissful the first 3 days because I was so grateful to learn this technique. And I've been praying to go deeper in my spiritual practice. I want to learn more and I want to understand myself and the world better. And it seemed like a door was opening, which would allow me to do that. I was so grateful to be there. I was so grateful for the food. I was so grateful to be human and to be able to chase my dreams and potentially realize my dreams. And it felt like I was kind of taking my first step on the way to do that. But this brings me to my first lesson. So the first lesson I learned, and the teacher talks about this in his discourses, but we each hold complexes inside of us that stem from our core beliefs. So although the first 3 days were very blissful, I was also battling these complexes that I held. I was very competitive and very comparative with other people. I was comparing my performance to theirs, and when I didn't like what I saw, I'd feel very upset with myself. So I was comparing myself to the way other people were sitting, how long they can sit for, how still they were. As I'm filming this video, I forget that I don't mention one of the most important parts of this lesson, which is that these complexes show up in every aspect of your life. Bro, and then like it makes me miserable. Like I'm so competitive with my girlfriend at sports that like I've literally made her cry because I was so competitive at pickleball. And that haunts me. Like I'm trying not to be as competitive. It's really stupid. And then it also, like the comparison thing keeps me off social media. Like I never post on Instagram because I'm comparing myself to other people or basing my value on how many likes or comments I get. And I hate that. I hate that I do that. Of course, I have compassion for myself, but it's also like I don't enjoy that I allow these things to have so much power over me. I realized that this was complete opposite of what the technique was trying to teach. I was craving perfection. I was craving certain outcomes to these meditations, and I was also craving to be better than others. I realized that I have like this addiction to like comparison. And my ego was attached to my performance. So I would base my self-worth not on my personal performance, but my performance compared to other people. I would use them as a benchmark. And I also remember feeling really jealous of somebody because they could sit cross-legged without any supports. And I was like, I want to be able to do that. Like, why do I need like the 4 cushions to be comfortable? So the next time I meditated, I tried to do that and I was able to do it. It's not all bad because I kind of was able to overcome this, not truly overcome, but I'm definitely working on overcoming this by reframing and by identifying these thoughts and picking new ones, basically. Reframing. Yeah, that's what reframing means. So I started to shift my perspective and see the people around me as my teammates. Their success is a mirror of what I could possibly have. And that was kind of a mindset shift and really helped me overcome that comparison aspect of things. Jealousy and envy are just feelings, and I've been really trying to retrain myself to see that these things, first of all, they're going to pass, but they're also just identifiers. They're a GPS signal of indicating what I want. So when I'm jealous of somebody, it just represents that they have something I want, but it doesn't mean that I can't also have it. I can also achieve those things if I really desired. Complexes. There are many complexes, and I'm sure I can go way deeper. I'm sure there's a lot hidden in there that I haven't seen yet. So it's something that I'm definitely going to explore more. Lesson number 2 I learned is impermanence. Impermanence! Okay. On an intellectual level, yes, I understood impermanence. Things come and go. The very nature of life is change. You age, you're born, you age, and then you die. That's the cycle of life. But this retreat really helped you see that on an experiential level. Again, like you witness the change happening right in front of you. And I witnessed this through pain. Oh my God, guys. Picture this. It's the 4th day. And on the 4th day, you get to really learn the technique. This requires you to, for 3 times a day, sit for 1-hour meditations without moving. But it's very painful, mentally and physically. I would attempt to sit in lotus or half lotus, which is sitting with your foot on top of your knee like this, just facing the most excruciating pain. My knees, my hips, this ankle right here, that stretch, it's just burning and sharp pain. And it's something that you learn to face, because at first it hurts so much and your body is yelling at you like, move. You're bargaining with yourself, you're using logic, and you just do everything to try to convince yourself to move from this pain. In my first couple 1-hour sittings, I did move, and when I moved, like 20 minutes later, I would recover, this pain would go away, this joint pain. And that's kind of like your first little taste of impermanence. Okay, that pain isn't permanent. You can handle it. So your next couple of sittings, you're sitting there again, your body is yelling at you, and then you approach it with impermanence. It's impermanent. And once you stop accepting those thoughts of it hurts so much I want to move, and you let it go and you just say it's impermanent, you stop fighting with yourself and you realize that this agony, this pain decreases by 10 times. It's insane. Like once you just relax and stop fighting the pain, it decreases so much, and you're just able to sit there in that pain. And although it like resurfaces, it's impermanent, right? So like the pain surfaces, then it goes away and you feel blissful, and then it surfaces again, that rush of pain, and then it goes away, and you kind of notice that coming and passing. And then after, it's the sensations of pain, but it's also the thoughts of convincing yourself every time that pain arises, that those thoughts of convincing yourself to move, it comes and passes. And then you notice my thoughts, my sensations, my feelings, my recognition of these things, they're all impermanent. And you see firsthand, truly, wow, everything is truly impermanent. You just don't hold on to it, and then after it gets released. The pain was truly a teacher. And The more pain I was, oddly, the more pain I was in, the more sensations I felt. I felt the sensations in my joints where it hurt, but I also felt like my whole body vibrating. And I don't know if it was like the adrenaline coursing through my veins because of the pain, but I felt my whole body vibrating. Some of my best meditations were when I was in pain. And there was also a lot of satisfaction from staying in your position, being able to endure this pain, and also being able to stick to your word that you weren't going to move. It feels like a real sense of accomplishment. So facing this pain also made me realize that I need to be nicer to myself, lols, because I would try to face this pain every meditation, and I did that for a full day, and I was just like, it hurt so much, and I felt really burnt out, and I wasn't enjoying the experience anymore. So you don't have to face the pain all the time, Nicole. You can choose to have comfort, have your 4 cushions to support yourself. And even I was talking to the teacher about this. I'm like, I don't have to sit in half lotus. I don't always have to be in pain, right? She's like, no, you need the support. Like, it's okay. Like, you're not used to sitting cross-legged for long periods because you didn't grow up like that. I also remember thinking that this technique can help me achieve my goals and my dreams. I find that I have a lot of blockages because of fears, and I'll have a creative impulse, but I won't follow that impulse because I'm afraid. I've always known this intellectually, that my fears are in the way of me achieving my goals, but I just didn't know how to overcome that. Because these fears, whenever I feel that, I feel a lot of discomfort, and then I procrastinate, or I just don't act on these impulses. But I feel like now I'm able to recognize those sensations of discomfort and ignore them, knowing that my fear is fake, it's impermanent, it's not real, it's made up. And then I can try to act on my creative impulses more readily. And now we're moving on to lesson number 3. And this is about selfless service. I more clearly see that my life has been about satisfying certain cravings and getting away from certain aversions. And you're never truly satisfied because you're always chasing your cravings and always trying to get away from your aversions because you're ignorant. So, what is the purpose of life? What am I trying to do? How will I feel most satisfied? The answer given was selfless service without expecting anything in return. It was really interesting to see how this course operates. It was truly amazing because it runs off of donations and volunteers entirely. Vipassana has over 200 centers and hundreds of thousands, if not millions, I don't even know, of participants. So how is it possible it only runs on volunteers and donations? And the answer I found is that this technique is life-changing. It gives a person purpose, it brings them peace and happiness and joy. Their cup is overflowing, so they want to help pour into other people's cup. And that's why they feel so compelled to donate and give their time. For example, there's 2 kinds of workers, or not workers, but 2 types of volunteers. Servers and course managers. Servers work to prep the food, cook the food, and they help cleaning. And these people are working from like 5:30 a.m. to 10 at night. They're not getting paid at all. So they're just giving their time and their energy for the benefit of others, so others can learn this technique and can potentially benefit from it. So I think I understand, like, on an intellectual level, that selfless service is, the ultimate goal of life. It's to help others. And I want to understand this more on an experiential level. So I'm going to be applying to a service in August, which I'm really excited about. So I definitely want to try it out. It's really weird because I recently had a dream yesterday night about serving a Vipassana course, because I've been kind of delaying like applying to serve, and I did it today. But the dream was that I was serving and I got a lot out of it. And I don't know if it was like a dream from my subconscious or it was like a premonition. Yeah, it was really crazy. And this brings me to my next point. Is it worth it? This course is so intense. You're going to feel such strong physical and emotional experiences. I actually talked to somebody who was a doctor, and I was like, what was harder, med school or this? And they said this was way harder than med school because it's so intense. It takes a lot of strength in your mind, in your willpower, in your determination. So if you think you have the capacity and you have the determination to try something like this, I definitely recommend doing it. For me, this has been so beneficial, and I'm eternally grateful that I discovered it because it's giving me a way to go deeper with my spiritual practice, and it's already helped me in so many ways with my determination and resilience. The teaching of impermanence is something I'll definitely hold on to. I'd said a lot of scary things about this experience, or maybe things you might be averse to, like experiencing pain or being alone with your thoughts. These are all very difficult things to do, and it can be very scary. But I hope I didn't deter you, because this is one of the most rewarding experiences I've ever had in my life. I'm going to continue to practice this technique and see where it takes me. Because when you learn this technique, you continue it by practicing in the morning and evening for an hour each. So that's 2 hours a day. But if you want to follow along on my journey, definitely subscribe. Maybe you're interested in taking this course for yourself. I'll link the website below. There's locations all over the world. I'll link the website to the general and also link to the specific center I went to if you're from Ontario. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm really grateful. I hope you got something out of it and maybe learned something new. Bye. Talk to you guys later. Recently, I went to a trip to a farm to try woofing, and a lot of my discomfort stemmed from having to socially interact with people, and I feel like so much more comfortable. Coming here, my nervous system is not active at all. I feel so calm, I feel so at peace and ready to do this, because I feel like that aspect of socialization is gone, and I'm just with myself, which I'm very comfortable with. Put me in a room to meditate for 100 hours and I'm drooling at the mouth, but I'm at a party and I have to talk to other people that exist, and I don't want to do that.